Happy last day of 2024. That's a wrap, boys and girls. That's a wrap. Damn, 365 days, 365 24-hour increments to accomplish your dreams or get it moving in the right direction. You know, they say, along with a vision board and stuff like that, you know, it's best to make your year a campaign and label it. And I label mine the year of true love. And that's literally what I've done every freaking day of this entire year, researching the ins and outs of that. And I tell you what, it's really opened my eyes. And a lot of it's not happy stuff. Not at all. No, because you realize. Because I think to really, 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 really look intently into what it is and what it isn't, you realize a person can realize they've gone years and years with very low quality, unnecessarily damaging, hindering relationships. And that's most generally some family members. And even a person will realize they've never been too good to themselves neither. So, having said that, I personally have been working really diligently on a daily basis for over 6 years to reshape my mind and doing a lot of stumbling around and trying to just figure it out, you know, because I didn't use any professional counselors or formal psychologist. I mean, that would have been really nice. That really would have. But I went at it mostly alone and took some counseling here and there with nonprofits, or not even nonprofits, voluntary help. And they're human too. They're human too. There's so many things we got to figure out on our own by pen and paper, test method. Bury the hatchet here on this one thing, look at it again at the end of the year, look at it again 2 years from that mark, look at it again 3 years from that mark, look at it again 4 years from that mark, and see what you got going on. Anyways, let's bring the focus back into this year. We're kind of getting off on these side streets, taking the scenic route. Anyways, wrapping up this year of true love research and researching it in ways that I've never known or thought of, and trying to go at it from that and just really challenging what's been digging around in my head, if anything. And that's a lot of the problem right there. It's like, if anything. See, unclarified stuff. Anyways, as with the last video, I was going through some red flags and some green flags, and I think we covered the topic about this folder here I've got on these red flags and green flags I've been working on quite a while. Couple hundred green flags, couple hundred red flags, and I wanted to consolidate them down into what I did was I thought, man, this is ridiculous. This looks like some psycho business. It's like, who does that? It's like somebody really traumatized. And I come up with all those little, really just nitpicking the shit out of it. But anyways, I thought, okay, let's, off of each page, I was like, I gave myself the option to pick two of the most important ones off of each page, out of the green flags and the red flags. And it came out to be this. There's probably like 8 red flags and about a dozen green flags. But anyways, and even more so besides that is like fundamentally, I mean, if I had to really break it down to what would be, what are the ingredients? What are the ingredients that even makes a green flag? Doesn't matter what it is or the importance of it, or, you know. So anyways, here we go. Yeehaw. So, number 1, shared understanding. They get you. They appreciate your quirks and provide a non-judgmental, safe place. Number 2, companionship and the sense of belonging. Friend that ensures you never feel alone. They offer a sense of inclusion and connection. 3, this one's huge. This one's a huge one to me. To me, this is like the ultimate celebration of life. They're happy when you win. They share in your successes, milestones, and accomplishments, whether big or small. And of course, you already know you do that for them too, don't you? Because if you don't, you might want to really check yourself, because, I don't know. Okay, number 4, encouragement of growth and development. That's a huge one to me too. That is just ultimately super huge. Oh my God. Encouragement of growth and development. They inspire leveling up. They're a person of accountability and a source of challenge to live into your highest potentials of you. Your highest potentials of you. Not the highest potentials of someone else's standards or someone else's path they went through. And no. Okay, number 5, synergy of well-being. I know you like that, right? Okay. With all the traits of true friendship to and for one another, there is actually a boost of mental and physical health that reduces stress that can literally add years to your life and theirs. Bam. And anyways, this is the top of the year. This is a serious celebration. Doesn't matter whether you attained the goals you was going to get or whatever for the year, you know, because there's so many things. I can't remember who was. Some famous guy said it's like we overestimate what we can do in a year and we way underestimate what we can do in 10. Well, getting it narrowed down. And I hope you're getting it narrowed down too, and getting it into perspective. You know, I can honestly say the projects I had going on, they didn't go according to timelines. I hit some hurdles, and some of the hurdles I hit, it's like it really magnified what some of the true weaknesses I have can be. And not just me, they're pretty common in most people. And I would say, if to oversimplify it and just to put it all in one big bag, it's like an underlying feeling of when things don't go wrong, whether you were done unjustly by a person, ripped off or whatever, betrayed. Maybe you ignore the red flags and you kept walking up into it and you got betrayed, and you haven't seen the fact that you did in fact ignore the red flags and it was still on you, and it is on you, and it always has been on you, but you don't know that yet, so you're feeling like this betrayal is like that. Add a couple other things in life that goes wrong, and next thing you know, you just get this heavy feeling that just kind of weighs you down. And then you get this almost like an unclarified feeling coming out of your subconscious that makes you feel like, God, or whatever the magic force is, the spirit of the universe, doesn't want you to have anything. Doesn't want you to have any money. Doesn't want you to have any love. Now, probably some normal folks don't really have that. And a lot of that can be stemmed from many different things. Some of it can be stemmed from naturally occurring biases in the human psyche. That's one thing. Unclarified hurts. That could include abandonment issues, post-traumatic stress disorders, drug addictions, alcoholisms, cigarette addictions, all those things. See, all those things, they just add up to make a person not trust themselves. See, it takes trust to have true love. And a high quality trust. And a maintained and protected trust. It's like a garden that's got to be protected. It's like, the seasons are going to change and mess it up. There's phases to it. And there's bugs that can get in it. And of course, there's thieves that would like to hop the fence and get in your garden. There's animals, rodents, that can mess up your garden. And then there's just regular sicknesses that can mess up your garden. See, to me, from what I'm looking at now, I realize when it comes to true love, it is a great, great responsibility. It's not just something you just walking along and voila, here it is, true love, my soulmate. Yoo-hoo. No, sir. No, it takes a deliberate work. And from what I'm looking at right now, I honestly believe, like these things I just read off, about these green flags, like a lot of this, before this stemmed into this, 4 years ago when I was working on this, what I was working on at first are the things in myself, the red flags in myself, and I focused on that first. And of course, the green flags in myself first. So, this year of true love wrapped it up. And it's like I did reach my goal of that because I had a set intention at the end of 2023 to hit this mark at 2024. And it wasn't a loosely knit intention. It wasn't a have to or it must manifest. No, it was more of a just to see what comes up. See what the spirit of the universe allows. Or what the spirit of the creator creates, and I get to co-create on it. And what I got to co-create was I see a picture now. I see more of the big picture. I see more of the little picture. I see how relationships can be toxic. And the bad thing about toxic relationships is toxic begets toxic. And it's way too common in our society nowadays. And it's like when you get around a bunch of people like that, they think it's fine. They think it's okay. And it's like their version of forgiveness. It's even a toxic forgiveness. Why? Because it doesn't have a reconciliation to it. See, forgiveness. Hang on. Yeah, we're definitely going to go over 15 minutes on this one. So, this is what I found and what I see that's been one of the major causes of my problems in my life is not understanding that the fact that there's certain kinds of forgiveness that require the reconciliation process. They require a deliberate, intentional, focused forgiveness coupled with a deliberate, focused, intentional, ongoing reconciliation. And here's the problem. The problem is trying to get the reconciliation, not knowing that forgiveness and reconciliation. If you want to have a high quality relationship, there's got to be the forgiveness and the reconciliation to make a whole. There's got to be that. It has to. It can't not be that if there's going to be true love flow there. Otherwise, it cannot exist. It cannot exist. True love will not stand in the presence of that. The spirit of true love is of the highest nobility. And that's not just trying to tag some fancy words to it. No, it is some type of spirit that requires. It's such a high quality thing. It requires certain. It just has plenty of standards, plenty of guidelines that must be in place for it to exist. Otherwise, it won't be there. Oh yeah, it might be there a little bit, but not enough to really do anything. Not enough to really, not to be workable. Nothing I would call functional. So anyways, since we're going over 15 minutes, let's go ahead and add some things to it. Here's a call to action. I wrote this out the other day. I'm not even sure what this is. This is kind of like a self-diagnostic that kind of went a little, I don't know. It was kind of hybrid of the red flags and the green flags, and it just kind of took some of the meat and taters out of it and made this. And it was about 44 items that came out. It looks like I circled 5 of these. So let's read the ones I circled because it probably means something, and I don't even know what it is. Let's take a look-see into this. Getting all vulnerable here. Going out on a limb. Looks like I circled number 12. Am I good at being honest about my thoughts and feelings? Am I a good listener to know when to give feedback or not? Let's see, it looks like I circled 22. Am I good at making people feel as if they can be themselves? 26. Do I treat everyone with dignity? 32. Am I a good communicator? 39. Am I patient when others have trouble expressing themselves? Oh, here's a little note to myself. That's why I did that. Okay, hang on. I'm catching up. Let me catch up. Okay, if you could only pick 6 of these and have to leave the rest of these behind, which ones would you choose as being the most important out of all of them? What 6 would you choose to be the most important building blocks for creating a good person? And that's what I chose. So anyways, there's some attributes there. We're not going to go through those. So I can honestly say, out of these past 6 years, I have labeled each year as a campaign, and I've kept all the calendars. I've kept journaling of it. I've kept these little pocket books that I write out the plans for each and every day. So basically, I got a lot of cross reference material. And I believe that's what it takes for a man to really get to know himself. And yeah, a person can say, yeah, that's getting really ridiculous and you're overthinking it, you're overthinking it. Well, guess what? It's like I've spent way too much of my life being an alcoholic addict, being very self destructive. So it's like, I've got to do it. It's like, if I want to make any kind of quality of my life and keep it that way, and then when I die, hand off those notes and those systems and the things about the procedures that I create before I die to the next generation, I got to stay busy. I cannot stop. That's something that needs to be done every day. So it's like my entire focus is all about the human psyche. And as of this year, doing this year as of the True Love campaign, I never realized how crazy it sounded until just a minute ago when I mentioned it to you guys. It does sound crazy. And it is. It really is. Anyways, I look at these things I'm doing and how I can cross-reference these past 6 years, and and even the YouTube music. That's a cool thing too. You can look at YouTube. They have the recap, and you can look at that, and they tell you last year what song you listened to the most or whatever, and you can kind of dig into that. Although I haven't got that far into it, but it's just nice to know that you can look back on what song you was listening to a lot during what time, look at the dates and times on it, and then look at your journaling, look at your pocketbook or your plans and what was going on the calendar, and then think, it's like, was that music that I was listening to at that time, was it a healthy coping mechanism? Was it some kind of self-soothing mechanism? Was it helping me along, or was it, you see what I mean? It's just a cool thing to be able to cross-reference those kind of things and just kind of get to know yourself a little bit better. And anyways, another cool thing that's gone this whole year is every single day of this year. Also, I've kept this one thing to where every single day, at the end of every day, I ask myself this question: what have I learned about myself today? Something I normally don't see about myself. What have I learned about myself today? So I'm like proud of that. And it can be just little things. Well, actually, I've been doing it for the past couple of years, but we're trying to keep it in 2024 to stay on topic. It's hard to do for people like us sometimes. Focus. So anyways, we've definitely gone well over 15 minutes. It's like 23 minutes and 47 seconds. Anyways, happy New Year's Eve. Hope you got your calendar out and marked out your year of 2025, what you're going to do in that first month, that first quarter, that second quarter, that third quarter, that fourth quarter. Man, what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to be? How are you going to shape your character? What kind of person do you want to become? Because, see, it's more about, I think that Jim Rohn character had it right. I think a person needs to focus on working on themselves more than they do on their work. I wish that would have freaking clicked 6 years ago. Man, I'd be sitting really nice right now. But nope, sitting in a big mess. But that's all right. It's my mess, and I'll dig my way out of it. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. And I guarantee I'll find even more things about myself that are even more valuable that I can share with other people and provide angles and unveil some of the dynamics of the way these things unfold to where they can see. Because there's so many things in life that we do that we think doesn't really matter or doesn't really matter enough to really worry about it. Yeah, it matters. Everything we do matters. Every single thought, every single action, every single bit of it matters. Every single thing is a seed of some kind. That's something I wish I would have known a long time ago. I never knew about that till just about 5-6 years ago. And even then, it didn't really kick in and really get into my innermost being until this past couple of years. So anyways, happy 2025. Yeehaw. See you in the funny papers.